welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. When it comes to rice, most people on a low carb or keto diet use cauli rice as their go-to rice substitute. Now, my family and I do not like cauliflower in any way, shape, or form, and other vegetables, as tasty as they are, just do not give you that satisfaction of having rice. And so today, I'm going to show you how to make a super easy rice substitute that requires no vegetables at all. It's super easy and super good. And I'm also going to show you how to make a really quick sweet and sour sauce that goes great with this rice substitute anytime I make sweet and sour chicken. And if you want printable versions of these, you can check out my website at janet'sdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find printable versions of these and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious, low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some Amazon affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those Amazon and affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and will help to support the channel. So, anytime you want to purchase anything on Amazon, make sure you use my affiliate link and a small portion of your purchase will help to support the channel. And while we do all that, let's get cooking. In a medium mixer bowl, combine 1/4 cup of almond flour. If you're allergic to nuts, you can use seed flour such as sunflower seed flour or pumpkin seed flour. If you do use pumpkin seed flour, your rice will have a slight green tint to it, but it'll still taste good. Add 2 1/4 teaspoon of coconut flour, a 1/2 teaspoon of xanthan gum, an 1/8 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of psyllium husk powder. Sift or whisk these in all together until they're fully combined and there are no lumps in the dry ingredients. A 1/2 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. This just helps give the dough a little bit more texture to it. Add 1 3/4 teaspoon of warm water. Make sure it is warm. This helps the psyllium husk to mix in more smooth. Then use a fork and stir in the water until everything is fully combined. Form the dough into a tight, smooth ball. If it seems like the dough is not coming together in a smooth ball, you can add a tiny bit more warm water, maybe an 1/8 teaspoon if you feel like it's not coming together, but you do not want to add too much water. Even the tiniest bit more and your rice substitute will not turn out. So roll the dough into a tight, smooth ball. Make sure the ball is smooth. If you do see any cracks or anything in it, just lightly dampen the tips of your fingers with warm water and rub your finger gently across the cracks to seal them up. You want this nice and smooth all the way around. Allow the dough to sit for about 10 minutes so it can absorb any extra moisture. Once it's sat for 10 minutes, place it in the freezer, uncovered for about 15 minutes. This will help the dough to firm up. That way, when you form it into the rice pieces, it will not fall apart on you. While your dough is in the freezer, you're going to prepare a steaming pot on your stovetop. So in the bottom pan of a stovetop steamer, pour about 2 inches worth of water in there. For me, it's about 4 cups for my size of a steamer. Bring it to a low boil over medium heat. Now, if you don't have a stovetop steamer, then you can use a stock pot and a heat-safe bowl. Make sure the bowl is heat-safe. Place enough water in the pan to reach about halfway up whatever size bowl you're putting into your stock pot. One thing you really want to make sure of is you do not want to get the inside of that bowl wet at all. If it gets wet as soon as you put the rice substitute in there, it is going to get soggy and it will not cook right. So make sure that no water at all drips into the bowl that you're going to use. After 15 minutes, remove the dough ball from the freezer and place a shredding blade into your food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you can use the large holes of a box grater, or you can Flatten the dough out as thin as you can and cut. Then place the ball of dough inside the chute of your food processor and pulse just for a few seconds or until the ball of dough has turned into rice-size pieces. Or you can flatten the dough out as thin as you possibly can and cut it into small pieces. Think of what you're trying to replicate. You're trying to replicate cooked rice. So if you are cutting it and not using the food processor, then make sure you cut it into the size pieces that cooked rice would be. Once the dough of the rice substitute is done being processed into small pieces, then place your steamer basket on top of the pan with the boiling water. Then sprinkle the rice substitute into your steamer basket or into the bowl that you've placed in your stock pot. Again, be careful that none of it gets wet. And try to keep it as much in a single layer as you can. You don't want to overcrowd your basket or your bowl. If you have a smaller bowl that you're using, then only put enough to cover the bottom of your bowl. Same thing with your steamer basket. If you have a smaller steamer basket than I do, make sure you only put enough rice substitute in there to cover the bottom, to put a thin layer on the bottom. You do not want these to overcrowd because then they will not cook properly. Once you have the rice substitute in the steamer basket or in your bowl, put a lid on your steamer basket or your stock pot and bowl. Turn your heat down to medium-low and allow it to cook for about 8 minutes or until the rice substitute is firm. Now this only makes one serving, so if you want more, you can always double or triple the recipe, but you still want to make sure that you only cook it in small amounts unless you have a very large steamer basket. You only want to cook enough at a time where it covers the bottom of your steamer basket in a thin layer or it covers the bottom of the bowl and stock pot that you're using in a thin layer. You do not want to cook this in large amounts. So again, even if you double or triple the recipe, still cook it in small amounts. Once it's cooked, place it on the serving platter of your choice. If you want to add any seasonings or anything to the rice to give it some more flavor, just toss it with a little bit of oil and sprinkle in whatever seasonings you want. You can put some fresh herbs or stir in some chicken bouillon granules to give it a little bit of a chicken flavor, or stir it in with some salsa to give it more of a Spanish rice type flavor. Whatever you want, whatever flavors you want. You can use this in any recipe that calls for rice. However you want to use it, in whatever recipe you choose to use it in. Eat and enjoy. In a medium saucepan over medium heat, combine a half cup of apple cider vinegar, a third cup of keto ketchup. I'll leave a link in the description to my 5-minute keto ketchup if you want to use that. Add a third cup of water, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and 1 teaspoon of the oil of your choice. I'm using avocado oil. You can use any oil you want. Whisk these all together over medium heat until they're fully combined. Add a half cup of golden monk fruit or brown sugar sweetener of your choice, more or less depending on how much of a balance you want between your sweet and your sour. If you want this to be more sweet than sour, you can add a little bit more. If you want it to be more sour than sweet, you can add a little bit less. It's up to you. Whisk in the sweetener until it's fully dissolved and the mixture comes to a low boil. Once the mixture has come to a low boil and you start seeing just a little bit of bubbles in your mixture, gradually add in 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum in small amounts, whisking in after each addition until the xanthan gum is fully dissolved. You do not want to add this all at once because it can ball up on you and then you'll have chunks of xanthan gum in your sauce. So add a little bit at a time, whisk it in until it's dissolved, add a little bit more, whisk it in until it's dissolved, until all the xanthan gum has been added and whisked in. Once the entire 1/4 teaspoon has been added and is combined, then whisk it again vigorously for about another 30 seconds or so just to make sure that the xanthan gum is fully dissolved. Bring the mixture back up to a low boil, then reduce the heat to low and simmer for about 2 minutes or just until the mixture starts to become thick. It's not going to be super thick because it will thicken more as it cools, but you should start seeing a thickness coming to the sauce. Once it has simmered for 2 minutes, remove it from the heat and allow it to cool for about 10 minutes more. It will thicken more as it cools. Once it's cooled for 10 minutes, you can use it immediately, or you can store it in mason jars or an airtight container in the refrigerator for up to 3 weeks. And those are our recipes of the day. I hope you enjoyed them. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.